知ってました？ミドジャンって4ページまでならセックス OK ルールってのがあるんですって。
Attractive anime magazine girls in an anime movie.
我々が文化祭とか行ってる間にも世の中はすでにクリスマスムードじゃないですか。
Two things. Firstly, I really like how this takes place immediately following the culture festival, and secondly, I enjoy how they give us this moment from another perspective outside of the festival, now a Christmas one. Just makes it feel more real to me, I suppose.
世の中は結局セックスを中心に回っているんです。やだやだいかがわしい。
How come he's literally just the best though? I'll tell you what's also the best, subscribing to the channel and hitting the bell icon. We got Demon Slayer Season 3, the Ten Shura movie, and you best believe tons more great positive content heading your way. Don't miss out, tap the buttons. I've still got so much respect for how she can voice her characters in such vastly different ways. By this point, it's basically becoming a given that a Love is War OP will get 2 max wins. There's just an abundance of animation from start to finish, and almost no one does that nowadays. The 3rd season kicked it into high gear too, and they haven't taken their foot off the pedal yet. Also love how they keep the same singer all the time too. Awesome!
文化祭が終わり、日常へ帰る生徒会。
Narrator-san!
となれば。 これはもはや恋人と言っていいのでは
Forever shouting out these excellent effects, and we get one within the first couple minutes. Bless this studio and this anime!
あら会長、キスしたくらいで彼氏面ですか？あのキスは雰囲気に流されてしただけというか。
I'm glad that a logical avenue was built into the story by which to allow this continued war of love to, well, continue, because otherwise the final episode of Season 3 may have acted as an early death knell to the anime. They really lean into the joke of having them all look down at the ground. The fact that she's still in this anime, he expressed aggressively. And by he, I mean me. That's some straight up gorgeous looking animation right there. Calling her a war criminal for giving the wrong impression and information. Ah, my god! How did she even get her voice like that? This anime is absolute royalty when it comes to seriously inventive graphic mechanics. Whether it be showcasing emotions, exaggerating movements of facial reactions or stuff like that, no anime comes close to my mind. That. Literally a perfect example of what I was just talking about 2 wins ago. Going back to win number 9, not only did they give us an excellent reason for him to be on edge about what just happened, and thus wanting to be careful to take things slow and be cautious just in case, but now she has also given us an equally valid reason to do so too. Another prime example of win number 15 and 17. They're all over it so far. Also, I understood that reference.
言うまでもないが、この頭身はデフォルメである。皆にはこう見えている。
They really didn't have to add this, but I'm glad they did it anyway. Did she just do what I think she did? I haven't laughed so hard in a few months, I think.
1番、2番、3番。どういうこと？
Oh dear lord, this movie is the best! This movie needs to be stopped! You're prepared to join me in the trenches if needs be! Mini Kaicho! Oh god.
すいません、遅くない。会長。
Then they take the last time I laughed so hard, slap her about the face a little bit, just nice. Then give me this moment, and I laugh so hard it literally hurts a little bit. In fact, it's super rare for a joke, but that's 2 wins, bruh.
交わした2人が巻き起こす今年最後の恋愛頭脳戦が今幕を開ける
Honestly, such a grand, but most importantly, great setup for the start of the movie proper. Well played.
あ、そういえばミドジャン今週の持ってきましたよ。
おお、サンキュー。
One Punch Man reference for our boy Saitama here.
もうこういうの持ってこないって約束してくれるならこの本は返してあげる。
Honestly, in an anime such as this one, you don't often expect much in the way of character growth, so not gonna lie, it's actually pretty cool to see this moment unfold.
それは無理。僕は確実に来週も持ってくる。
Very unexpected, but to be honest, the last win still stands because, let's be real, it's still valid. 2 wins here. Firstly, that stance she pulls when she notices them is hilarious. Secondly, though, still very much kawaii.
何ですか？
クリスマスイブの夜って今かな。その日うち来ない？
行きます。
Mine sounds strange since it's a fairly small part of the 3rd season, but this was very important to me, and to see it now being addressed right away is the height of awesome.
違うよ、私イドちゃんも誘おうと思ってたし。サフィー。
God bless the mangaka for writing scenes like this.
ツバメ。じゃあ私用事の途中だから。
Not running on the spot with a kawaii little half spin.
イブの夜は戦略あるんで。バカ受けしたのでちょっともったいないですが、
How come she's also just the best though? Also though, the biggest of props for continuously having her roar with laughter, but in the same way over and over.
被告人は突然白金みゆきの唇を奪い、あろうことか舌までそう以上のことから検察側は被告に対して死刑を求刑します。
You know, as hilarious as this was, with the death penalty imposed for a kiss, and it was hilarious, it's also clever that it does display the thoughts you can be struck with when you're younger, and this is the first time you've done something like this. It kind of plagues your mind a little, but don't worry, when you're older, not an issue.
本当にどうするのね。会長にドインランの性欲魔人って思われてる可能性があるのよ。
As strange as it might sound, given that she's spoken a great many lines already so far, it genuinely built a massive smile on my face when she went off like this for the first time again.
湧いてきた新参者の分際で偉そうに。ちょっと自分との喧嘩なんて虚しいだけだよ。アホーどもだ。私に講釈されるな。
That simply beautiful throw and landing attack and reaction from it.
おはようございます、白金さん。コーヒーを一杯入れてちょうだい。
The gorgeous manner by which they dealt with her kind of turning into the Ice Queen in this scene, amazing looking effects too, I gotta add. Just like I mentioned during the OP, it's actually pretty rare that OPs and EDs score 2 max wins, and yet Love is War has now again gone 2 for 2. They did this in Season 3 as well. You cannot ignore it when faced with not only a beautiful song and stunning, well-crafted visuals that clearly time, effort and energy went into, but then to top it off is the clear emotional aspect of it done so incredibly well. Easy max 2 wins, to be honest. Extremely coffee looking coffee.
今度藤原初期に入れ方習っておくよ。
藤原突然のピンチ。
Amazing callback to seasons 1 through 3, where every time she has tried to help him in the past, well, to call it an uphill battle, it's the world's largest understatement. Honestly, this whole scene had me really feeling for her as a character, especially since she's such a sweet girl, and to know more of her upbringing and how difficult it was now reflects on who she is now and how far she's come. It was very well done, I thought.
恋人とかなんて。
恋人は突飛でしょ。
マジか!
In all honesty, this would have irritated me had it not been for the excellent description of her mental state going into the conversation, and when you take into consideration everything that was mentioned about her past, instead we're armed with knowledge that does explain away these actions nicely.
キス。
Loving me that art style change right there.
何
That.
男の人はいいですね。そうやってポケットに手を突っ込んで歩いても誰にも咎められないのですから。このままでは心まで凍てついてしまいそうだわ。誰かさんの手は温かそうでいいですね。
Two wins here. Firstly, it's again another telling matter that we hear that her family would give her grief for something as simple as putting her hands in her pockets whilst it's cold out. They're really building that aspect to her character nicely this movie. But secondly, I found it the very height of hilarious that she's monotone, trying to painfully spell out that she clearly wants to hold his hand.
会長は女の子一人まともにエスコートできないんですね。
Obviously, it's a shame that things are playing out how they are currently, but there's also the well-known story aspect of creating tension in situations such as these in order to put off a lovely reunion later on. Nothing that's worthwhile comes easily and all that good stuff.
くさはえると
That ad break transition though! LOL!
棺が一気。
棺いやいや途中から棺数え始めてましたよ。眠りについたら二度と目覚めなさそうなもの数えないでください。
I actually like this scene. To me, it tells me that, aside from the humor aspect of it, he sees him as his friend and thus doesn't like the sound of him creepily starting to count in coffins, being too dark and whatnot.
こんにちは。
あれ篠宮先輩髪ストレート。
Massive shout out to the studio for such consistent levels of animation all the time when it comes to Love is War. Like, they're on it like few studios ever have been from day one. Amazing group of people.
うちで開くクリスマスパーティーのことなんですけど。
Ah, that's so cute though!
なあ、石神は今日の篠宮変だと思わないか？
プレゼント交換は後に取って。
僕に対してはいつも通りですけど。
The realism of having two conversations taking place at the same time in the same room rather than awkwardly having one that then stops and another begins.
この機会に覚えておくのもいいんじゃありません？飯野さんの体、香水は大衆と混じって香るものなの。
でも。
It is outrageous how many effects are packed into this anime. Outrageous! Not sprinting on the spot.
なぜ逃げる篠宮。
Truly unexpected chase scene out of nowhere. Definitely a wildly unexpected and stunning looking continuous motion shot where the camera doesn't cut away at all. That totally caught me off guard. The best part about this is not only did she know that she was coming somehow, but she also knew she'd be easily able to scale up the wall and enter through the now opened window.
じゃあ、あのキスも浮かれた勢いってことか。
そういうことになりますね。
無視するし、いつもより表情が暗いし、髪は下ろすし、暴力に訴えるし。
This is straight up heartbreaking, man. I keep waiting for the give and take to begin. He pulls away maybe a little and she gives in a bit. But she does kind of keep pushing and pushing, and it feels like something is bound to break, and it scares me, I won't even lie.
普段しない香水のいい匂いがするし、心配なんだよ。
I love how they use effects like that to emphasize the scene. They didn't even go from 0 to 100 on the light either. It was natural and gradual, but timed with a statement. Likely the closest thing we're gonna get to a scenery shot.
まあそういうことなら任せなさい。私恋愛マスターだから。
え？
嘘よ。
嘘かよ。
Oh my days, I love interactions like this. Just smacks of Konosuba to me.
キス？
ええ、
かぐや様に？
そう言ってるじゃない。
Can I just point out how refreshing it is to actually have the main characters in some major ways, especially her and here right now, simply laying everything out in the open, instead of the games for a second.
私が会長のこと好きだからに決まってるじゃない。
After all of the trouble of the last 20 minutes or so, it's just good to hear this again. It almost felt like she'd literally started going off him. It even had me convinced.
今日も香水つけてみたり。
したらめっちゃ逃げ出して。
本当は 話しかけるのも照れくさいのに。
挨拶したら無視すんの。
Even hearing this puts me more at ease because at least she had some kind of warped thinking and reasoning that's now being displayed. I think I just missed the narrator Dono being directly involved and telling me who is winning and losing this war and what games are being played because I started taking her at face value.
文化祭で大人のキッスをしたわ。
I absolutely love the notion of him telling her what happened and her legit just running off. I can't deal with that. Bye bye.
私はただ普通の恋がしたいの。
She actually finally put it out there. Damn good to hear too. Non-opportunistic wins cliche, where the weather is just doing weather-related things. Unlike in Tomo-chan as a Girl, as much as I liked watching it whilst writing anime sins on it, no wins before you ask as that wasn't voted in, it definitely was the case that the wind only kicked in when someone said something poignant. Easily one of the most natural and organic ways an anime character has ever ended up being in the lap pillow position.
本日の勝敗、篠宮かぐやの敗北。
My guy, where were you a few minutes ago when I really needed you though?
やべえ人がやべえタイミングでやべえこと口走りながら抱きついてきた。
How was that even written? What a long and equally hilarious way of saying what the hell is going on. I loved that so much.
会長なんか一段と顔色悪いですね。
Oh, it only just occurred to me that this is also a countdown to Christmas. My word, I'm dumb. I know I'm playing a lot of different games at the moment, but that's no excuse to miss this. I'm hyped now for Christmas.
あー、お腹が減りました。
That, but also that first lovely art change. I adore that in this one. Nothing quite like it out there.
仕方ないですね。私のお弁当分けてあげますよ。この卵焼き。
You have absolutely got to be kidding me with these effects though. Thinking about it, Bakemonogatari had some wild and wonderful stuff too, but this is different still.
かぐやさんが石神くんみたいなこと言え。統一の分走ってくればいいんでしょ。
It's been so long since she freaked out and sprinted out of the room that I forgot that it's something that she does that I love.
じゃあいつもこの倍食べてる私はデブまっしぐらってことですか？白宮先輩の人でだし。
She's done it not once but twice. Has this woman no shame for how many casualties arise from this moment?
俺が俺のままでいれば何もできない。もっと気張れ。腹減ってるんだろう。これを食え食え食え食え。
See, I like this because again it very much feels like genuine character growth. It's not just making the same mistakes over and over again like it's an episodic series. In fact, take another win here for how much it's not episodic by nature, which the storyline would kind of fall into if it was not so carefully crafted the whole time.
篠宮。
Accidental finger slash sausage mistake. Not something I thought I'd witness in this one, but it happened and it's a win.
早くきれいにして。早く。
Man, oh man, this anime doesn't half know how to get proper intense sometimes, does it? That build-up and transition was absolutely beautiful.
私が私のままでいると周りの人を傷つけるということ。
I have no idea what's just happened, but it deeply shocked me. Not how I thought the scene would go down at all. Well played, well earned win.
もういい。私は引っ込むわ。私みたいな人間はね、ずっとそうだったじゃない。
Very clever to fall back onto this here because originally I, probably like many of you, thought the original scene was merely meant to be a funny one, but instead it's actually looking like she does have different parts to her personality that she uses to shield herself from harm. There's been a very clever use of it, to be honest.
怒りや悲しみを顔に出してはなりません。泣くなどもってのほかです。
Again, take a win here for showing more of this. We hadn't seen much of it over the seasons, bar a mention here and there, which often come across as being purely done for laughs, so it's good to see what caused her to be how she often is. Also, take another here for taking a more serious avenue in the anime. It's been so fun-loving and carefree that when we're faced with this, it's more than a little shocking.
私の家では真面目にやらないと手の甲に鞭をもらうでしょ。だから純粋な親切で言ったのに。
十分真面目にやってるわ。
私だってこんな性格に生まれたかったわけじゃない。でも人を遠ざけようとすればするほど言葉はトゲを増し。
Normally I'd simply combine this moment with the previous win, but in all honesty, I think it can have its own for probably being the best showcasing of her cold personality from the past yet. It's also very important to remember that this is how she's been interacting with the president for a couple of days, so it's little wonder it's caused him so much concern. But obviously the best part about it is that she's done it for a reason. Not a great one, but still a reason.
生まれて初めて好きな人ができてしまった。人を傷つけ拒絶することに慣れてしまった私が。
泣いてるの？
泣いてない。
あなたはバカね。
Jeez. Do you see what I mean by the show taking itself quite seriously here in dealing with her feelings? I'm blown away by the change in tact.
もういいでしょ。変わって。あなたなら会長に優しくできるでしょ。
Oh, genuinely making me quite sad with this.
私は可愛くなれないの。
Gorgeous animation in that movement from her. Tons of frames clearly lovingly put together.
きっと幸せで死んでしまうわ。
Beautiful transition there with how the music kicked in to really smack us right in the feels.
私が見よう。
ヤブ医者が来たわ。
I'm not even sure I fully understand this joke, but it's damn sure still getting a win all the same for the confusing amount of laughter it brought out of me.
走った走った。水分補給っと。
Oh, she's so adorable.
私が君くらいの時にはそりゃもう軽い気持ちで女の子と遊びまくったものだよ。
17の時に子供できたんですよね。
なんでバラすかな。
God, I love random little moments like this and their back and forth.
受験に失敗してから母の興味が俺から離れていくのが肌で分かった。素の自分を受け入れてもらえないのはどこも同じです。
And now we finally see more of his own background, learning about his heartless mother. Why he tries so hard at everything he does all of these seasons makes so much more sense all of a sudden, and it proves that his history is fraught with much the same sadness as hers is.
虚勢の一つも張れねえで女にモテるかよ。
虚勢か。篠宮、次の試験俺と勝負しろ。俺を個体認識するようになった。それまで空気だった俺がようやくあの篠宮に並び立つためには一度や二度倒れるくらいのことをしなきゃいけないんです。
At the same time, now we finally get a backstory regarding how they became adversaries, all by him getting confidence from another member of the student council back then, which set them upon that path. I'll be honest, even back in season 1, I just never even thought about why they're like that. Just they're in love and it's a war.
彼女が里いのは君が一番知ってるはず。いつも君が無理していることを気にやん。普段頑張ってる子がふと見せた弱い面にグッとくる。
部下がグイグイ来て良い話ができない。
For some unknown reason, his facial reactions absolutely made my entire day. Just pure shock and awe on his face. It's haunting, man, but funny. I don't know what that was, but it was great. That's all I know.
いつかやると思ってたけどな。
This food had no business being this good looking, just saying.
まあ、今夜はゆっくり休めよ。
Currently, I'm playing through Trails in the Sky's second chapter, so normally I'd give a win for Dio from JoJo, but instead this time it's for Olivia Lenheim from those games. He's brilliant in them. Excellent old school JRPGs. If you enjoy those kinds of games, check it out on Steam or whatever. I'm ashamed to say, I didn't even know they existed until recently, and I've played hundreds of RPGs over the last 25 years.
篠宮の様子はどう？あいつには心配かけてしまった。
They do such a good job in this one with effects that you forget how good the animation looks, such as the glow on her face from the phone.
素直に好きと言わないあたりとてもそれっぽいわ。でももう少し圧をかけた話し方だと忠実だと思うの。
茶番とかいう割に注文が多いですね。
ねえ、会長は私のこといつから好き？
These moments where I find her very cute, calling it a fuss, and then immediately getting right into it.
会長は私のことどれくらい好き？
篠宮が思うより多分ずっと。だいぶお気に召されたようで何よりです。
See what I'm saying? Absolutely freaking adorable! Get out of it!
なんでだろうって考えたら答えはすぐに出た。私に全部を見せてくれない。
The mixing of the scenes is incredible. The hearts on the floor around her feet from that night, viewing the moment again on a screen that doesn't exist within her bedroom.
そして私も同じなんだって気づいた。私は私の全部を見せて、その上であなたの全てが好きだって言いたいの。
I tell you, huge kudos to the mangaka for writing this. I said way earlier on that kiss could have been the end for the show in many ways, but instead it's been brought back around by such a heavy focus on their personalities and histories, hard times they've gone through, who make them who they are now, faults and all, and pushing through that. Credit to her friend and helper for making such efforts to help them be together too. She's been very important.
人より多く時間をかけることだけだ。本当の自分なんて一生見せるものかよ。もっともっと。
It pains me to see her moving forwards and now him being stagnant. But again, it would suck if it wasn't so well described and written and paced out so as to make perfect sense for where he currently is as a character.
そして
animating multiple people moving within one frame.
クリスマスイブ。
Christmas Evilだ。
街はジングルベルとイルミネーションに彩られ、福な夜に沈み込んでゆく。
Not only is it nice seeing their city all aglow, but seeing them all happy and getting ready for the festive season is pure bliss at this point.
なぜこの家はクリスマスと正月を混ぜる
Christmas a New Year da mash up confusing goodness. Okay, enough with the yous and das.
これこそがクリスマスの本来あるべき姿って思うようになってきたんです。
勝手な文化を定着させるな
That far gone look in her eyes as she tells the final part to their warped Christmas story was so hilariously done, it's unreal.
なんだこの異教徒の記載は
では皆さん、メリークリスマス
Oh, go on then. I'm in a weird Christmas mood because of this movie, even though it's in April as I write this. Take a festive win. Also, while we're at it, if you know me and you know the channel, you'll know that everyone hanging around, drinking and eating and chatting and having fun and whatever else is very relaxing for your boy and always carries with it a complimentary win. Another good example of the studio animating all of these people rather than just using CGI like most others likely would. Him really getting into it. Just a sweet and comforting montage of everyone of import to the story and what they're doing at Christmas. While we're at it, take one for actually animating the montage too, rather than just using still images with some music over the top.
篠宮ほどの金持ちに贈るものってなんだ
苦慮の結果選んだのは。
頼む他のやつもできるだけつまらないプレゼントでやってくれ
中身はアロマディフューザーですよ。
さすが篠宮いいプレゼントを用意するな
In all honesty, this felt like the first return to the normality of prior seasons all of a sudden, the intense warfare of thinking about what move to make next, and then the narrator giving extra info.
ちかさんのですね。
私のプレゼントは
How come she, in addition, is also just the very best though?
人の兄になんてもの渡してるの
I laughed far harder at this than I'd ever care to admit.
すっげえ嬉しいこれこそ
That super long. Oh man. It hurts.
プレゼントお互い当たりませんでしたね。
そう
They so didn't have to animate her walking through the scene, but they did it anyway because they're a bunch of hard-working legends.
いやごめんダメだこれ適当に選んだやつだからこれは違うんだ篠宮にはもっと完璧な
This to me is wonderful because it joins together the vibe I've been talking about in regards to how it's steering back to their relationship from the seasons, but also it feels like they're closer now, which is only from the result of the movie.
もしこのプレゼントが私に見せたくない部分というのなら、これは絶対に手放さない。やっぱり。
If this movie has excelled in one area, it has to be how real they made this feel. It doesn't feel like it's for jokes right now. There's no gimmick at work, especially using that music really adds to the vulnerabilities on display. Not only does this section look good, but it's really pleasant after a rough start to see her accepting him now for his issues, wanting to push past them as mentioned before. They've both had their issues brought to light, and both have had ample time this movie to struggle with them, address them, and hopefully resolve them.
もうそれは私のものです。
ダメだっつってんだろ身勝手が過ぎるぞ
It's a small thing, but even gravity was taken into account here as she misses him and the gift, and kind of lightly falls and catches herself.
はっきり言えばいいじゃない。こんなきつくて性格の悪い女は嫌だって。だから見せてくれないんでしょ。だってそうでしょ。好きな相手には自分を見てほしいものじゃないですか。
I really couldn't have timed win number 133 much better if I'd tried with her own issue, not yet resolved, coming back into the limelight. Her cold personality from before being laid bare, and how it injures her so to talk about it and her past.
好きな相手って
全てを分かち合って全てを分かり合えたらそんな素敵なことはないと思うでしょ。
She's saying it! She's finally freaking saying it, bruh! I can't actually believe it!
私は自分の弱いところを見せたわ。分かり合いたいから。だから。
Two wins. Firstly, this shot is beautifully done. From the moonlight and the soft wind blowing their hair. Stunning. Secondly, it's those words that perfectly encapsulate what I've been saying throughout. That it justifies her actions fully by showing him all of herself and not just the best parts. That summed it up so well though.
好きだからこそ弱い部分は見せられないものじゃないか自分の弱い部分を見せて幻滅されたらとか
Then following it up is the masterful statement from him. It's not correct. That's not what makes it masterful. What makes it perfect is because that's built upon by his history with his mother and the pain that caused him when she left because he was showing his weakness to the world and to her. My god, this writing is excellent. In fact, for this win and the last with her comments, take 2 max wins.
理屈はわかります。でも私は自分を見せたんですから会長も見せてください。
Can't express how much I adore their sweet little cute standoffs like this.
でもお前は人を傷つけたくなくて人と距離を置いてるんだと気づいた時可愛いじゃんって思った
It's so sweet that they're essentially made for one another. Her biggest personality flaw to her mind was instead a kindness no one else at the school could see until he met her and saw it. That music and the setting of the scene mixed with that animation and voice acting on display. Wow, what a beautiful moment they build together.
うまいな
You could have given me, let's go with 8 million guesses. I'd still have been wrong.
そんなに笑うなよひどいやつだな
Ah, sweet, genuine and very cute laughter from her.
私が幻滅したように見えますか？
Beautiful in pretty much every sense. Well played.
もちろんあの風船はとても素敵でロマンティックだけれども、でもそうじゃなくてもいい。こういう普通なのも私はロマンティックだと思うから。
I thought this was great too, her letting him know that whilst it was lovely, she doesn't need all of that fanfare and everything else. Even something as simple as what he's given her means the world to her. It's very powerful stuff. You may have guessed it when you saw it for yourself, but that's 2 max wins all day, baby. Made me smile, it was done so tastefully, the setting was perfect, all of their flaws out in the open and resolved for the most part. Great stuff.
ねえ会長、私を見て。
Stunning looking art style change and that music too.
隠さないから、あなたを見せて。
Rotating shot like it's no big deal to pull off.
もっと賢く上手な立ち回りがあるのでしょう。何も隠すことなんてない。それが私が会長にしてあげられる。
Even that statement is perfect because it's what basically went through my mind. Do you really have to show everything about yourself? There's got to be a better way of going about this, and the fact that they acknowledged this is excellent.
やっと手をつないでくれましたね。
Yes, he is!
だけど疲れた時は少しだけ一緒に休みませんか？
After the many seasons of games back and forth, and after so much havoc this movie, it's such a pleasure to witness them being like this together, so close and honest with one another.
篠宮はそういう俺でもいいのか？どんなにひどい俺だったとしても。
はい。
Simple answer, no great thing needed in response, simple and to the point, and it means the world to him.
普通の女の子になりたい。自由に泣いたり笑ったり可愛くなりたい。なれるかしら？
As many of you know, I don't read any mangas, haven't got the time for it in all honesty, but this looked like it was straight out of a manga and I loved it.
どうですか？
可愛いよ。
そう、これは揺れ動く乙女心のデフォルメ。
Such a fantastic looking scene with such a bright, vibrant and colourful looking colour palette.
会長の冬休み1日いただけますか？
ね、いいけど。
デートをしましょう。
How lovely is it that after everything that happened, there's no immediate backslide to how things used to be. She asks, he answers. The first proper scenery shot of the movie, and my god, it's so good looking, it should legit be in an art gallery.
あと君結構純粋だね。そしてストレスが溜まるとつい衝動買いしてしまうと手相に出て。
I know I winned him, I talked about the game, but he's literally one of my favourite voice actors. Take a win.
行くか。
はい。
Goodness me, look at the surroundings on display! No small amount of effort went into that, let me tell you.
頭が悪くなれるくらい人を好きになれるのは幸せなことだよ。君も一度試してみると。
I think he's giving some super important encouragement to do something soon that we've all been waiting for since the end of season 3.
ドキドキして頭わけわからなくなって。
Have one here for the whole scene and what he says. It's a beautiful testament to all things love, really.
あなたが好き。私と恋人になって。
Ugh, my heart can't take much more of this.
わかった。
だが真実の愛はあるかもしれない。
Best possible end to the movie, bruh. She asks, he accepts. Take my win! Been saying it for 3 seasons, but I'm always such a fan of the pure style oozing out of this anime. Gaming reference! Have one more final win here for the movie as a whole. I'm blown away by how serious it took the subject. Comedy was present, but definitely on the back burner in order to properly deep dive on their characters in such an honest and organic way. I'm not sure I've ever watched a movie where the plot is forwarded like this before, or where characters are able to fully complete an arc. Hats off to everyone involved, and I hope you guys and gals enjoyed this video too. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Creator follower, Lifty, Corey Bush, Inakami Water, Manuel Morales, Marquez, Nick Wyndham, Warkeeper, The Ever Commander, Adalisk, Bird Without a Word, Brendan Creer, Christopher Willis, Emmanuel Gonzalez, Gaten 2000, Jessica Starks, Kepin, Comfroik, Kylie W, Magnus, Nathan Blur, Satai Kuyore, Sean, Sebastian Ramirez, Wigan Faye, Ali 50, Baked Patats 3827, Dark Lord Bloody Soul, Dub Defender Matt Miller, Guru, Israel Caldera, Yor Edvinson, Jonas Stahl, Jaffa 6263, Kieran Robinson, Kelnock, Kevin Nauta, Gonito, Laxus, Luis Cruz, Matthew Bansett, Nicholas C, 1928, Oliver Smiley Reacts, Peter Milligan, Saint Flo 25, Sentimento, Storm 970, The Elementator Wars.